good. How are you? You doing all right? Everything going on today? Everything cool? Hey, got the t-shirt on. Got the hoodie on, right? So let's get it right into it. You know what I'm saying? Taz. Let's tell people what Taz stands for as far as the letters that you got in your chest right now. What does Taz stand for?
It's Tazmanian Devil. Taz is short for Tasmanian. Yeah.
Right. So in the movie it stands for Tau, Alpha, Zeta, correct? That's
Yes.
that's what the letter. Yeah, that's what the letters stand for.
I'm showing my old man ignorance.
Yeah.
I just thought of this Tasmanian. I'm sorry if I jumped on too early. I don't know if I jumped on before you're supposed to have.
Right. It's picking up. All right. It was frozen for a little bit. Okay, can you hear me now? Yeah, everything, it was frozen for a little bit. So let's get right into it. Before we get into Tazmanian Devil, we're going to talk a little bit about you because you're an award-winning actor. You have a lot going on right now. You also are writing, directing, and producing your own documentary right now. We're going to get into that a little bit later on. But for right now, let's talk about Beware of Time. It was an award-winning record. It was the best film in the Berkeley Black International Cinema Festival. So what did that do for your career?
Well, I've always been someone who works in various, multifaceted. So if I'm not acting, I'm directing. If I'm not directing, I'm writing, or documenting things. So it's just been one of many things, but it was great to have that recognition, sort of that stamp of approval. And I'm grateful for you guys for even giving us the attention and the love for this film. I'm glad you got to enjoy it.
Absolutely. So you came in the film in about, 1981. That was about 40 years ago. How has times changed as far as what everything is going on in film now and how it was back in the 80s?
I mean, it's radically changed. Look at this. We're here talking like this. This is like unimaginable a few decades, just a few years ago, actually. So I think for the young filmmakers, this is a really exciting time because you just need your phone and a Wi-Fi connection, and you can share your stuff with the world. I just started a short film competition in Uganda, and I've been amazed at the kind of stuff that the people are doing there. And they're just emailing it to me, and, that's different from when I was, growing up, and the kind of work that you could do then now. It's just the level of the playing field has been leveled.
So your first role as an actor, going into now as, you're an on-screen veteran. You've been in the industry for 40 years. What are some things that you've done as far as elevating your career and how you shaped as an actor, not only as an actor, but just in the industry as a whole? What are some things that helped you along the way?
Really, it's just this film and TV and theater is the most collaborative art form. So you're as good as the people you collaborate with. Like they say, if you play tennis or play basketball with someone who's better than you, they're going to lift your game. So I really feel fortunate to have played with some really great folks, and they've elevated my game. And I feel really grateful for that.
Let's get right into Tazmanian Devil. All right, now you played the on-screen father of Deo, Julius. What did that role feel like as far as you being an actual in-life father? How was the role kind of compared to your regular life?
I am a father, correct, but I don't have the same religious fervor that the character has. And also, my kids are just toddlers, so they're not trying to exercise their independence the way Dio was. He's just trying to find his own wings and legs, which is what kids do. But as a parent, you want to make sure they don't fall too hard. You want to be there to catch them, but you also have to let them fall. And I think that's what's really beautiful about the ending of the movie, is when the father comes in and sees Dio doing his step. And he's shocked, but he sees the response from the crowd, and I think there's a sense of pride that his son is really flexing and stretching his wings. So, yeah.
Being on screen and everything like that, creating that authentic feel. How do you get in the character? Because you when I watched the film, I felt like you really was his father. Like, how do you go about doing that?
Well, if you're in the good hands of a director and a good script and a good cast, the rest just happens, just flows. So I really felt like I was in good hands. um, with Solomon. It's hard to believe this is his first feature film. I mean, he's an incredible filmmaker. So he really had a tight ship and ran that set really tight and smooth, and created a really collaborative atmosphere for the cast and the crew, and took his time. Sometimes as a first-time filmmaker, you rush through things, or you feel pressured to do things, compromise. But he really kept his vision, and was, all praise due to Solomon for making this all come together.
So picking up the role as the on-screen father, what are some things that you learned about the HBCU culture on set?
Well, I was there watching the steps, and I was just blown away because, you got to be young and agile to be doing those moves. I don't know how they do those flips and those turns, and it's really a family, and that's what you really get to discover, is that for Dio, who's had struggles with his dad, he looks for some male figures to be the support system for him, and that's what the frat system is. And the HBCU is really, I mean, it's real. My mom went to Howard, my wife went to Howard, and it's really was a pivotal moment for their lives, because it really anchored them in a way. Sometimes, for kids like Dio, they need that anchor, that support system. Otherwise, they're just, a feather in the wind. They can just get tossed to and fro and get lost. And so the HBCU and what you guys are doing is really the anchor and the wind and the sails for a lot of kids.
So being a veteran, what are some things that you do to help some of the younger actors and directors, like you said, Solomon, this is his first feature film. What are some things that you do on set, off set, to kind of help them as far as building themselves in the industry?
Well, as an actor, you're there to support this person's vision. So I don't know if I felt like I was trying to help him. I felt like I was there to, give my feedback, but also follow his lead. If he had, there was times where I had a question about something, and he was like, "No, I want to do it this way." And even though I have all this experience, it was my job was really to help him execute his vision. And so I think that's really the, sometimes if you've been in the business for a while, you can sometimes forget that. Or when you have experience and you think somebody's making a mistake, it's hard to step back and say they have to make this mistake. But as an actor, you're the one who's on the screen. So at the end of the day, if you don't feel comfortable or safe about something, you do have to speak up and say something. But they really, Solomon run a really great ship. And my hat's off to him, because he's an incredible young talent, and I can't wait to see what he does next, and hope we get to work with him again soon. And Trisha, I got to give a special shout out to Trisha Widget, the producer on the film, who actually played, if you caught it, I don't know if you caught it, but she plays my, I think you could say the sort of the girlfriend. It's alluded to that he had a woman on the side, and she makes this appearance at the church. So Trisha was wearing multiple hats throughout the production.
So favorite moments on screen right now. Favorite moments as far as being on set with the young cats and the production of Tazmanian Devil. If you can give us any back screen behind the scenes feels of what happened to you while you were filming the movie, some of the favorite things that you went through.
Oh, we filmed, a lot of scenes were filmed at the house. So we were all holed up there for some time, and it really felt like we were living in this house, because we were there shooting for so much. And when they brought this food, they brought this authentic Nigerian food, but I'm vegetarian, so there's certain things that I wasn't going to be able to eat without getting sick or something, because my stomach wasn't used to. So they really catered to my needs, but created this authentic atmosphere. And it was really, I mean, some of the most fun scenes were shooting in the house, I gotta say. It was really, really great. Um, yeah, I think that's it.
So going into my last question, about what you have coming up next, writing, directing, producing. We talked a little bit about this earlier. Can you give us some insight on the project of the documentary that you have coming up?
Oh yes, I'm working on this documentary film about a Ugandan photographer, studio photographer named Chibate Aloysius Salomo, um, who was a portrait studio photographer in a small village in Uganda. And I stumbled across his work by chance, and I promised to share his work far and wide, but unfortunately he passed away before I was able to do so. Mm-hmm. So in order to keep my promise, I am creating this documentary. I'm going back and photographing people that he had photographed. And I was grateful and really fortunate to get Steven Soderbergh, the Oscar-winning director, to come on board as executive producer. So we're working on that. That's what I've been spending some of my time during lockdown on.
Yeah, how was the coronavirus COVID-19 affected the film and you as an actor as well as your career right
now? It definitely put a stop on a couple projects. I was supposed to be shooting a film with Idris Elba in New Mexico a few days after lockdown happened, and I had a new TV show that I was supposed to start filming as well. So those both came to a screeching halt. But production is kicking back up for the Idris film, and I think I'll be going to New Mexico to start filming that in the beginning of October. And this other TV show that I was supposed to shoot, we're still waiting to hear when we'll be able to resume production. But both of those projects will be on Netflix, so
okay,
I'll be on Netflix next.
Well, anything else that you want to give us insight about the film, about the movie, to our HBCU students, to our following, before we go to Solomon or Benny Boone, whoever's next?
No, I'm grateful. This film speaks to the CU community, and we should be screening it at every HBCU possible. And if there's a chance to do that, and I know that there's the travel restrictions and everything now, but I'm happy to be there virtually like this to answer any questions from the audience and talk back. Like, do you have any questions for me about the character? Anything else that you wanted to ask? Because it was a lot of fun. It was really an intense character. It surprised me just watching it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like seeing you how you are as a person compared to what I saw on screen, I was like, whoa. It was a couple of times in the movie that I was really like, yo, like this is like I was sitting there looking at my dad like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, what if we had this type of relationship? Like, it was crazy to me. But it was really good though. It was really good from beginning to end. I was intrigued the entire time. Every time you came on screen, you just had a presence in the room that just took control of the room. You know what I'm saying? Every time you were on screen, didn't know whether you were in the church, whether we was just, you know what I'm saying, in the house. It was different. Like the vibe was just, it was always there. So I really appreciate that. And definitely, you know what I'm saying, if we can get the screening going at HBCUs, I would love you to come visit North Carolina A&T. You know what I'm saying, right there in North Carolina. Howard, Hampton. Yeah.
And I see a couple of the comments, people are talking about Ronnie. Ronnie, my character on The Chi. So anyone who's watched The Chi and watches this movie will be like, whoa. Because I was even surprised. Because they're totally different characters. You know? Totally different characters. So I'm grateful to have been able to show my range and versatility with these two roles. And I'm hoping that you'll get to see more. And my wife just did a shout out, said, Cruise Zen, go Howard University. Thank you, Diva Bourne, for shouting out. I love you. I'm glad you think Ronnie's the best. And yeah, self-made _ thank you for the shout out. Yeah, Jalen Real. Oh wow, I'm seeing all these comments from Ronnie.
They're loving it. They're loving it. They love the character Ronnie. Love you.
Well, great. Well, thank you for having me. And I'm glad you liked the film. And yeah, I hope I'm not a dad like this dad was, because